Hello, welcome to my talk show, Linda Listen. Welcoming guest co-star Linda Chapman, which she is around here somewhere. Okay, so Linda, let's start. I have a few questions in your chapter 6 of your neurobiologically informed trauma therapy with children and adolescents. Something you mentioned in the chapter was how art therapy utilizes the unconscious emotional content along with verbal dialogue. So I agree with that, and I would say definitely that it's a lot of nonverbal dialogue that you get, or the reason why people use art therapy would be because there's a lot of art as a way to communicate, or a symbolism, or activities that you don't have to talk, and that like portrays a lot of emotion or what the child or adult may be feeling without having to verbally explain how they feel. My question to you is is it only unconscious content that's being expressed non-verbally, or is it conscious as well? Interesting. Yeah, that's a good response back. Let's move on to the next question. Art allows for symbolic expression. I would say also art doesn't always have to be symbolic. For example, if a child were to draw a smiley face, but they're actually really sad and stuff, it may be them projecting of how they want to feel, or they just might be just learning how to draw smiley faces in school. I used to draw smiley faces all the time and doodle all over my paper, but was I always the happiest kid? No. So I'm interested in knowing why you would assume, or why art could only be symbolic. I think art doesn't always have to be symbolic. And I would like to hear your interpretation of that too. Oh, sorry, Linda. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be symbolic. Oh, okay. You want to move on to the next question? Next question is self-discovery through the client describing the image self-discovery can happen through the client describing their image. For example, if they're talking about line, form, color, and shape, you said, that can describe how they might be feeling, or they might be describing themselves as they're talking about line, form, shape, and color. And they might also be talking about misinterpretations of themselves. And I thought that was really interesting, and I'd love to hear more of your input on that, because when I think about art therapy, I always thought of it kind of more of a, like you said, an interpretation. So like the client may be explaining, I did this red circle down here because that's where I represent blood from my trauma experience or something like that. But maybe they didn't realize it while they were doing their art piece until the very end, when they actually ended up talking about it. Did they think, oh, maybe I did this, or maybe now that I'm looking at it, I'm coming up with this. And this is what this represents, even though they might have not ever intended for that or unconsciously were thinking about that. So I think the self-discovery information that you included in your chapter was really helpful. And then my last question is, altering images, how change is possible and can cause all sorts of emotions to come up. So altering images you said, is a way of showing how people can adjust, people can change, and therapy is about showing that even if something seems so trying to come up with the word, but even if things seem so set in stone that you can change it and that there is ways to change it, you said altering an image is a good way of showing that. And then it can also bring all sorts of emotions up when, say, if a child is fixing a part of their drawing, and then as they're fixing it, they're thinking about what that part of the drawing might have represented. For example, the blood, if they were to erase the blood off or that red dot off their image, what that might mean to them. And I thought that was really interesting that you included that. I do wish you would have included a case study on that part, but I do think that's really interesting to think that you can allow the kid the space to be like, this art piece isn't finished, you can always change it, and how that might represent to them that they can change something in their life too. And I would love to hear how you came about that. Okay, thanks, Linda. That was really great. That was a really great conversation. Thank you so much for coming to my talk show. Linda Listen. Okay, by the way, Linda Listen, please tell me you guys have seen that Vine video. Okay, and yeah, this chapter was really interesting. I really enjoyed learning about how art therapy can use unconscious like emotions and symbolism, and also like how one can describe themselves through shape, line, and color, and how change occurs. So thank you.